Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to the Dice Tower. Today I want to talk about how I rate games. We kind of rate things all the time in life. We all like to rate things. I rate everything. How much fun did I have doing so? And for a long time, I've always rated my board games, but I've resisted putting ratings on our reviews. And that's because people ignore the entire review and focus on the rating. They'll say, you said you liked this game, and then you only gave it a 7. You said you loved this game, and then you gave it a 9. Why not a 10? And they get so caught up in that. We have issues with the Seal of Excellence, where 3 people will say it's a 9, and then 2 people will say it's a 2. And you're like, well, how can it be excellent then? Because no one likes every game. That's just how it works. But I love doing numbers, but applying a number often dissatisfies people. But the question is, Tom, how do you do your ratings? Well, I've always was a big fan, like I said, of ratings. I put a rating on a review because that rating can kind of hone how you're looking at the review. When I would look at Roger Ebert's reviews, who rated movies on a 8-point scale from 0 to 4 stars. And if you saw that he gave it 3 stars, you read the review in a positive light. I don't know how else to explain it. And if it said 1 star, you're like, well, he's going to hate this one. And you read it in that light. But talking about his 8-point system, how do we quantify number systems? How big is the spread? I mean, a lot of people have 1 through 10, right? Some people can go 1 through 100. I used to read PC Gamer, and there were the games on there. They would give them a number from 1 to 100. I'd be like, wow. This game got a 93. This is an amazing game. There's the 1 to 4 stars, or 8 if you do half stars. There's a 1 to 5, which is a 10-point scale if you do half. Sometimes it could be a simple thumbs up or thumbs down. A lot of people these days do some sort of 3-tiered system. I notice this in a lot of board games where it's a positive, negative, or a try it first before you get it, which frankly should be every game. But how do we do these systems? We do a 20-point system here at the Dice Tower. But not really. Okay? And I'll explain why. Because a lot of the number thing is perception. Like I said, I understand the number is perception. And a 10 is the best. The number one, the top tier. And in fact, I disagree with my very good friend, Sam Healy, who I think is wrong in this, where he says no game should get a 10 because a 10 is perfection and no game has reached perfection. But if that's true, then your 9s are your 10s and you're just throwing people off. But numbers themselves mean something. But who puts what number and what's the value of that number? I know even internally here in the Dice Tower, Z's 6 and my 6 are a little bit different. If I say a game is 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, if I say a game's 7 out of 10, I mean the game's good. You should check it out. But if I gave you a 70 out of 100 in a test, I don't think you would say, good job. But see, that's a very objective stuff. When we rate things, it's different. So a lot of people default to Board Game Geek. Board Game Geek is the biggest website, a wonderful database on games, and they have a rating scale there. Now, I know for a fact that when most people go there to rate games, they're just saying 10 is the best, 1 is the worst, and that's how they rate them. But they do have a suggested rating scale there. For example, 10 is outstanding, always want to play and expect this will never change. 9, excellent game, always want to play it. 8, very good game, I like to play. Probably I'll suggest it and will never turn down a game. 7, good game, usually willing to play. 6, okay game, some fun or challenge at least, will play sporadically if in the right mood. 5, average game, slightly boring, take it or leave it. 4, not so good, it doesn't get me but could be talked into it on occasion. 3, likely won't play this again, although could be convinced. Bad. 2, extremely annoying in game, won't play this ever again. 1, defies description of a game, you won't catch me dead playing this, clearly broken. Some people take these so literally. This is a suggested rating scale, but like number 10 says, always want to play. Well, guess what? There's no game I always want to play. If I'm sitting there watching an exciting movie with my wife and someone's like, hey, do you want to play your favorite game? No, I'm doing this. But also some of these things they write on here I think are funny because like on 4, it says, it doesn't get me but could be talked into it on occasion. If I give a game a 4, you're never talking me into that game. Or 3, they're like, could be convinced. On a 3? I don't think so. But again, that's what they have here. And if you go by the letter of law, I can see that could be confusing. My rating's much simpler. 10, the best. 9, amazing. 8, so good. 7, good. 6, it's fine. 5, I don't really like it that much. 4, I hate it. 3, I hate it. 2, I hate it. And 1, unprintable hatred. But really, when we talk about this and when we do our ratings of things, there's the closeness of 4 and 2. What's the difference between hate? There really isn't any. And that's because of perceptions. People will perceive the difference between a 7.5 and an 8 much more than they will do between a 4 and a 3.5, which is why I don't actually do 0.5s in the lower scale, because it doesn't matter. When you dislike a game that much, the levels of dislike don't matter. But when you like games that much, you tend to play them more, and so you will have more differentiation between those. That's the same reason why there's fewer 10s and 1s, because those are perceived as perfect or the worst. Like, I'll say I hate a game dramatically and give it a 3, and people are like, well, what are the redeeming values? Why is it not a 1? Because 1 is just absolutely abysmal. The worst games are the worst, and I save those for just very specific things, while 10, same thing. A 10 is usually the best. In fact, I very rarely give a 10 out initially when I play a game for the first time. Most games grow into 10s over time. And do ratings change? Well, of course they do. That's why I do a show called Look Back here in the Dice Tower, where I talk about ratings changing, and they can even fluctuate in that because it doesn't matter most of the time. If I say I like this game a lot, it's a 7, and someone else will say, hey, what do you think of the game? I'm like, oh, I like it a lot, it's an 8. Am I being wishy-washy? No, because my opinions are what matter. That's why we do a review. If it's just a number, first of all, that doesn't mean anything to me. When I go and buy something, today I was looking at a product to buy on Amazon, and I saw it had all different ratings, 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s, and 1s. Well, that doesn't mean anything to me. I look at the ratings and see, why do they say this product's bad? If they go, I tried to return it and they won't give me my money back, well, that's not as bad as this product clearly didn't work. It's what they say that matters, not the numbers. Can we have standardized ratings? We cannot. We simply can't. But we do have assumptions, and the assumptions matter. 10 is the best, 1 is the worst. 10 is the absolute best, 1 is the absolute worst. 9s are good, and people understand that. Your scale may shift slightly differently than other people, but it's not that big of a deal. And at the end of the day, it's the review that matters. We'll keep putting numbers out. I like numbers. I like to rank things. Here's my top 10. That's what we do on the channel. I can rank all the games I've ever played in my life in order from 1 to 9,000. Although I'm not going to do that. That would be a ton of work. But those numbers are going to fluctuate. And is there a really big difference between number 2,345 and number 3,011? Probably not. There's so many games out there. Numbers are the guide. It's words, ratings, and playing things for yourself that help you determine whether you like it or not. And you might change from one day to the next. Anyway, hopefully this gives a little bit more insight to how I rate. Is it basically just a 15-point scale where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, and all up to 10? Sure. Is that perfect? No. But I'm content knowing that the vast majority of people understand what I mean when I'm rating games. And from that number, can grasp an idea of where I'm headed with the words that I then proceed to pour out of my mouth, and nonsensical words or whatever. You may disagree with them tremendously, but you understand a little bit about where my conclusion is going to be from those words. What do you think about ratings? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel. Thanks for watching this video. Check out our channel. We have a lot of videos on our channel. We have live videos that go up each week, from live Q&As to videos where we take a look at the newest stuff on Kickstarter, crowd surfing, to top 10 lists and more. There's lots of stuff on this channel. We encourage you to explore it. You can find out more at our website, dicetower.com. I'm Tom Vasel. Thanks for watching another video on The Dice Tower.